Welcome back to another day here at the garage at Basin Motorsports. So the last week I really haven't been in the garage that much. Had a car show a week and a half ago, a week ago, something like that. Had a great time doing that, but when I brought the car home, I really just kind of parked it. Been busy on the farm all week and with work, but yesterday I actually did get some time where I was caught up and was able to get out to the garage. So let me catch up on some of the projects I did and what I'm doing the rest of the week. So I kind of changed my mind on what I was going to do with the 86. And I had a thought. I took all the headliner out and all the interior, and then I needed to replace this windshield. So I had a dilemma, or kind of a discussion with myself inside my head. Turned into an argument, but I think I won. And that was, when do I replace this windshield? So if you do a wrap in that, you know that they're going to cut this windshield out, and I didn't want to mess with the wrap. I didn't want to mess with the headliner. So I just thought, you know what, why not just go ahead and get this windshield replaced? And I'm going to do that. So today is Monday, and Wednesday I've got an appointment to drop this off in the morning to get the windshield replaced. Now they're going to put in just a regular replacement in, so the 86 will get a new windshield in, and then I'll bring it back home, and then I can start on everything else. I've got most of the headliner, I guess, uncovered, if you'd call it that way, with the foam taken off. But I didn't really show that because I want to save that for a full kind of update later on. So this windshield on Wednesday, a couple days from now, is going to get replaced. It's probably going to be no fanfare. I'll tow it into town, drop it off, probably pick it up later that day, bring it back home on the trailer. I have one seat in here. It starts and runs. I backed it outside yesterday when I was in the garage. And it fires right up. Literally, turn the key on and it fires initially. So everything there is still in great shape. Time to get this done, and then I'll get back to doing the headliner and then the wrap. So another thing I did work on this week was this gap and space right here. Basically the alignment on the body molding area. I noticed when I was at the car show last weekend that this body molding, the door was actually sagged about a 1/4 inch below. If you look back at any of the pictures on Instagram, or even you might even catch it in the video, I didn't really kind of take a good look at it, but the door is actually sagged down below. It's hard to shut, or harder to shut, I should say, and just wanted to fix that. So I already made a video on kind of how to adjust or to set your doors so they fit, and so really for this, it was a matter of putting the car up on blocks with the weight on the suspension, and then going behind the fender liner and loosening the bolts, lifting the door with a jack, and actually lifted it probably about a 1/4 inch higher than it needed to be because it actually sags a little bit from the way the door sits. So lifted it higher than it needed to be, tightened down all the bolts, and then let gravity sit, and now it shuts. So this thing shuts really easily now, and it fits great. So that's pretty good for this car. I think the body's twisted a little bit because things just don't line up very well, but I at least like this a lot better than it was. Now probably the last thing I did yesterday was to put the adjustable clutch and the quadrant on and the adjuster at the firewall. I really thought this was going to go a lot easier than it did, and I made the mistake of overestimating how much work was going to go into this. So this is the firewall adjuster from SVE Performance, and it is kind of the brand that late model restoration normally does. So OEM clutch cable, and you take off the rubber piece off of the end of the clutch cable, which normally goes into this screw onto the firewall. Now I'm sure there's probably videos out there for putting the whole thing together. The simplest way to describe it is a lot of patience and do it in steps. So disconnect the cable from the clutch fork on the transmission. You can use your pry rod just to kind of push it forward, get the cable off. That's going to give you a lot of slack so that you don't have to fight the clutch cable on or off or anywhere else. At that point, it's loose, so you can kind of pull it forward, go underneath the dash, take it off probably the plastic adjuster that's in there, and or I guess the plastic quadrant, take it off of there, and then you can take both of those out. If you look up right above, kind of in between the brake pedal and the gas pedal, that's where your quadrant is going to be. And each of those pieces, there's two pieces, kind of the main quadrant itself the main quadrant piece itself, and then the self adjuster piece. Now both of these, you can see there's a hole in them. They are onto shafts, and there's an R-clip that holds these on to the shaft. So you just basically pull the R-clips up, get them out of there, and then each of these is going to slide off. Now this thing right here was the bane of doing this whole project for me. It was really tight. There was a bracket in there, and again, this is a car that didn't have this type of pedal assembly in there. Remember, this is an older one, pre-80, I think it's 81 or 82, that switched to this plastic adjuster and everything else. So I had a bracket in there, a body bracket, that made it almost impossible to get this off. So it took a lot of swearing and a lot of R-rated language, and I finally got it off, but thankfully it came off. Now on the end of your clutch cable, you know that there's this plastic piece, and it's kind of got a rubber insert and then a screw. So this comes off the end of your clutch cable, and then you could take the base there. So this screw itself screws into the hole that was already there for the plastic one I just showed you. And then you can see there's a screw there, and then there's a screw on the very bottom. I probably can't show you very easily. But those three screws mount this base piece and mount it securely to the firewall. So this one is already there. You'll have to drill some holes for these two screws and then thread those in. Screw those in, it's just a Phillips, and that goes right in. Now the adjuster itself, which is this piece here, this just screws into that base. So you can take the nubs off the plastic on this, slide it all the way through with this all the way in, so it gives them the maximum amount of slack, and then connect that up to your quadrant. Once there, you can then just loosen this back out all the way until it takes the slack out, and then you can start your car and adjust it there. Just either going lefty-loosey is making the cable tighter, and righty-tighty goes in, making the cable a little bit looser. Now beyond doing the clutch work yesterday, I haven't done anything else with this car other than put it on some blocks to keep the suspension loaded and not. So you can see how dirty it is. I should say dusty, but I am not going to clean this car in between shows because it doesn't matter. If I clean it and I drive it down the road, it automatically gets right back to being dirty. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to leave it alone, clean it at the shows. The wrap actually cleans up very easily with some soap and water, and then I have some wrap cleaner. So I'm not too worried about it. This thing's going to stay nice and clean. Here's just the box of stuff. So you've got some tire shine. Let's see what's in here. This is just a little bit of dish soap and water. Some just towels, glass cleaner, and then that's wrap cleaner here. So this is just the stuff I'm going to keep in the kind of in a box in the trunk, and then you've got all the GoPro accessories that I've kind of been tinkering with lately. So really that's it. Nothing a lot going on here other than the gray lady's going to get a new windshield this week, and then after that I can tape it off, kind of cover it up, keep it clean and ready to go, and then I can basically strip this car down completely and really get going after the wrap. I think doing the wrap, because I have to take the sail panels off and put the sail panels off or back on, and then the interior and that, I think at that point it's just let's knock the wrap out, get it done, and then I think the interior is going to go back in very, very quickly beyond the few accessories like the trim and sail panels and taillights and all that. Pretty easy stuff. I think it's just a matter of getting it all done and time to get it done. WideFox, it's in good shape other than it's dirty, but I'm just going to keep the interior clean, wipe it down at every show. Now again, I've got a show coming up Saturday, one next Saturday. I take a weekend off because that's Memorial Weekend, and then the following weekend is Good Guys in Pleasanton, California at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. I did already put my registration in. I think I did that 2 days ago. Did that, and so I think I was car 289, I think. So should be a pretty good show. I think there's usually a pretty good deal there. So I did put a request in to be on the inside show of that, on the indoors. I don't know. Maybe I'll get selected for this, and if they are, cool. If not, I'm going to enjoy the heck out of it either way. But that's kind of it. Not a lot going on this week between these two cars, and then I'll probably film Saturday, at least a little bit, kind of showing you what's out there. But I would say with that, I'm going to wrap it up. But you guys, what did you think of the last one with the GoPro and that? Did you like it? You know, is it okay? Otherwise, it didn't seem like anybody really thought, you know, it was great or it was really terrible. It's just kind of like, yeah, cool. So I guess you let me know if you want to see more of that. You know, I bought a bunch of accessories. I just don't really know quite what to do with them yet, but that's how you learn. So that's it from Basin Motorsports Garage. We'll see you next time.